These strange events happened about 6 months ago. There were no oddities. No eerie or mysterious phenomena that could help in determining the impending threat, yes. And the beginning, let's say, was the most harmless, but first things first. I am the most ordinary resident of the most ordinary city. I work as an electrician, and at the time of the beginning of the events I was at home, on vacation. I was lying on the sofa in the hall and lazily switching channels when I heard the intercom ring. Well, I don't wait for guests. I won't open it. I'm too lazy to get up from the sofa for the sake of such dear guests who made a mistake and couldn't remember the number of the apartment they were going to. So I just turned up the TV louder so that it interrupted the nasty sound of the intercom and began to switch channels aimlessly, waking up closer to dinner. I put myself in order and stomped to the grocery store, but as soon as I left the entrance, interesting events awaited me. The grandmothers, who were sitting on a bench about something, were arguing animatedly, and moreover, so animatedly and indignantly that even I became interested. "My dear," instead of "hello," one of the grannies said, "did the hooligans call your apartment last night?" "Yes, someone called," I said, "but I have no idea who it is. Maybe the apartments were wrong." The grandmother, who asked me this question at one moment, lost all interest in me and verbally attacked her visible friend. "What did I tell you?" She spoke with wicked experience. "They called all the apartments yesterday. It's good that at least people have a little mind. No one opened the door for him. Otherwise, for sure, there would be trouble." "Yes, you calm down," retorted the second. "Maybe someone was joking, and you immediately, and all serious. You know, Betty, who lives in the 25th house, told me about such jokers. Then 7 bodies were taken out of 2 apartments. You see, they died of laughter." "Yes, your fool Betty. She has no faith at all. She doesn't understand why. She will review her TVs, and then everything seems to her." Don't judge Betty," protested the first one. "She's been living here for a long time. Our houses didn't even exist yet, and she said that it happened twice. They called apartments in the same way, and then passion. What happened?" "Betty, she's done well. She knows everyone who lives in what house, and who comes when. And she told everyone that no one should open the doors to anyone, and even more so at night." It was funny to watch the 2 grannies arguing, but I remembered their conversation about some mysterious event, and decided for myself that I would not open the doors. Night fell. I was about to go to bed, when again there was a nasty and vile sound of the intercom. Mentally remembered the daytime conversation of grannies, squinted towards the corridor and went to check if my door was closed, showing maximum indifference to the intercom handset. I checked all the locks and, almost calmly, went back to the room. The next day, the situation with the grannies repeated itself. Only this time everything was a little gloomier. "I'm telling you exactly. It's him," one of the grannies said. "I met a friend of mine from next door today. She says that every night someone wants to enter the entrance to them, too. And yesterday they knocked right on the door. Apparently someone let it in." "Excuse me. What are you talking about?" I didn't stop asking questions. "And you, my dear, don't you know what's going on here?" "No," I replied. "Well, listen, I'll tell you what it is. No one has a clue. But they say that it goes to different cities, but to villages, and always strives to get inside an apartment or house in order to eat those who live there. Someone said that this something looks like a person, only he has 4 hands, not 2. It walks embittered throughout the whole wide world, but prowls in search of someone. But, most importantly, it never attacks those who are on the street, only those who are at home. Which is probably why they saw it and were able to describe it. So, son, don't tempt fate. Don't open the door at night. It is like, let it go." Well, heaped up, said the second grandmother. You really want to make a fool of a guy, yes. I didn't reward anything, said the first. The way it is, you son. Don't listen to us old grandmothers, but don't really open the doors, said the second one. Well, I won't, I said and stomped on my business. For hands, I thought to myself, I wonder what it looks like, and why does it go home at all? In general, the grandmothers told me about this phenomenon in vain, because now I won't see what it is there. I definitely won't be able to sleep peacefully. My plan for discovering and contemplating this phenomenon was simple. As soon as my intercom rings at night, I will carefully go out onto the balcony and see who is standing there at the entrance door. Well, what? We have a light bulb near the entrance. Who is standing there will be perfectly visible. While the mysterious visitor will stand in the light, I will be in the dark in due time. And he will definitely not see me. Yes, and in my life, I will not believe that someone, just like me, did not go out to look at the balcony. I looked at the clock, 2:40 in the morning. Great, I thought to myself, apparently, it's him. I quickly and tiptoed to the balcony door and opened it, barely audibly, while the intercom continued to yell. I carefully walked out onto the balcony and saw something that, probably, ordinary people are not supposed to see. The four-armed creature seemed to be waiting for me as soon as I looked at her. She abruptly turned around and looked exactly at me. A thought flashed through my head. Why did I even want to see her? Meanwhile, the creature smiled and shook its index finger on its four hands at me, and quickly disappeared into the darkness. What was it? I thought to myself, no, it's definitely not human. This creature only looks like a person, but it is not. I thought, checking whether the front door was closed or closed. I hope it stops coming here. Otherwise, I'll just go crazy if someone calls my apartment tomorrow night the same way. But tomorrow we didn't have to wait. Moreover, events began to develop with a very frightening speed. About 20 minutes after what I saw, the lights went out in the house. And then I heard a wild clatter on the stairs and terrible blows on my door. This creature broke into my apartment. It wanted to deal with whoever had the audacity to look at it. The blows were so forceful that it made your ears pop, and I, confused and not thinking of anything better, climbed into the closet. The blows continued, and I heard the creature pounding with both hands, and trying to tear the steel into pieces that were sheathed on the door in order to get inside. And I was sitting in the closet and I heard the door crack. I heard the torn-off doorknob fall. And I understood that a little more, and this creature would rush in. And I would either have to jump from the 5th floor or the thought did not have time to fully take shape as I heard displeased screams and the sound of the door being opened. Apparently, one of the neighbors could not stand this roar and decided to go out to deal with whoever arranged the concert here. They stopped pounding on my door, and that's it. There was not a single sound, no screaming, no banging on the door. There was just silence. I probably sat in the closet for an hour, and dared to leave the apartment only when the sun shone all over the window. While in the apartment, I studied the door appraisingly. She was bent inward. Another couple of minutes, and she would have simply tumbled into the apartment. I barely managed to open it. I thought she was hopelessly skewed. But after opening the locks and a dozen blows from my side, I still managed to open it outside. The door was torn to pieces and presented a pitiful sight. But I was looking for something else, traces of blood or something else, because my night guest could not have left so easily when he was so close to his goal. But I didn't find anything of the sort. The situation became clear 2 hours later, when someone called the squad due to the fact that a whole pool of blood had flowed from under the door of the apartment opposite mine, What was once my neighbor has turned into a red mess. Their arms and legs were separate and scattered around the apartment, and the body itself was not and lay near the door. I stood on the street and watched my former neighbor being taken away, or rather, what is left of it, and the grandmothers were nearby on the bench and muttered the same way. And I told you that this is not a joke. Looks like someone decided to look at this guest, since he himself made his way into the house. And then what will happen? Asked the second. Will he leave us? And who knows whether he will fall behind or not. But I will say one thing for sure, it will continue to walk here until it catches the one who saw it. Living people are not supposed to see such things, darling. Grandma asked me, have you looked at our overnight guest for an hour? No, I didn't look, I lied. That's good, said the grandmother and added, and then I do not envy someone who knows what he looks like.